Section 11.3, we are looking more specifically at multiple events happening and the probability of those events happening, which we already saw a little bit of in Section 2. A little bit of vocab first before we get started. Our first vocab word is independent events. Events are independent if the probability of one event does not affect the probability of the other. So quick example going along with this, an example of independent events would be you roll a die. Then you roll the die again. So whatever your result was on your first roll has nothing to do with the result of your second roll. Those are independent events. An example of events that would not be independent is if you draw a card from a deck, set it aside, and then you draw another card. These events are not independent because whatever your first card is, when we set it to the side, now your probability of drawing another card is different because now there are fewer cards in the deck. So those would not be independent events. But again, kind of as a refresher of what we saw in example 3 from section 2. Your probability of event A, I'm just going to call this event A, and probability of event B. So your probability of event A and event B happening is found by taking the probability of A times the probability of B. So just kind of revisiting that. Revisiting that formula kind of as a reminder here. Now we also have another vocab word that's called mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive events are events that cannot happen at the same time. So something that cannot happen at the same time, let's say, for example, rolling a 2 and a 3 on a die, on a single roll of a die. Okay, those events would be mutually exclusive because you can't roll a 2 and a 3 at the same time. Something that's not mutually exclusive, though, would be rolling an even number, and a multiple of 3. Okay, so that's not mutually exclusive because a multiple of 3 could be 3 or 6, and 6 is an even number. So 6 is both a multiple of 3 and an even number. One more formula here, and then our next video we'll get into a couple examples. All right, so if we have mutually exclusive events, the probability of event A or event B happening is the probability of A plus the probability of B. So if those events cannot happen at the same time, we add the individual probabilities together.